Okay, today I wanted to talk about scams. It seems to me that nowadays more than ever they target seniors and retirees. So today I wanted to talk about some specific strategies that retirees and seniors can take to help fight off scammers and reduce the likelihood of being scammed. So let's get into those strategies. So for purposes of today's video, I cooked up 6 strategies to share with you today. Strategy number 1, distance. And we'll talk about the details of that in a minute. Strategy number 2 is never answer a call from an unknown caller. Number 3, decide in advance. Number 4, freeze your credit reports. Number 5, carry cash, because cash is king. Number 6, credit card transactions only at points of purchase. No ATM debit transactions if it can be avoided. First, I think it's important to recognize and to be honest about the fact that there are thousands of folks, both here in the US and around the world, who are actively trying to scam you and me out of everything we've earned. They use modern technology, and it's getting easier and easier by the day. I think it's critical that each of us, as seniors or retirees, to take specific steps to protect ourselves financially. And I think these strategies can help. We'll probably never be 100% protected from scammers. They'll always cook up something new, but we can make it harder for them. And that's what this video is all about. Here are a few of my suggestions. I talked about the first strategy being distance, and that is just what I mean, simple distance. I want to show you 2 things. This is a beautiful video segment of my front fence and front gate closing. Isn't that beautiful? The strategy here is to simply put as much physical distance as circumstances allow between you, your door, and door-to-door solicitors or anyone else who might be trying to gain access to you to convince you to buy something that you don't need. We'll just use the example of door-to-door vacuum salesmen. They want you to buy a $4,000 vacuum. The strategy here is to simply put as much physical distance as your circumstances will allow between you and door-to-door salespersons who might be trying to sell you a $4,000 vacuum that you don't need. A fence and a gate like this might not be practical for everybody, but if you have the option, even a small gate with a prominent no solicitors sign can help a great deal, especially if you can lock that gate. The next line of defense under the heading of distance is my Ring doorbell.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
I love my Ring doorbell. Welcoming? No. Effective? Yes. Unless I recognize whoever got past my gate, I never answer my front door in person. I always use my Ring system because it's a very easy way to politely tell a solicitor, thanks, but no thanks, from over my phone. And if for some reason they can't take no for an answer, then the red hang up button is your friend. It's as easy as pressing the button and that conversation is done. No pressure, no issues, just done. It really is that simple to put yourself into a safe position to end the interaction. Door-to-door sales is effective because often people feel vulnerable and don't feel comfortable telling someone no. Now for me personally, I like telling people no, but that's just not a strength for everybody. Now there are reputable folks out there selling good products, but I think retirees specifically and seniors should take steps to protect themselves from those who would take advantage of them. And a great way to do that is through distance and the word no. You can add thank you if you want. All right. Strategy number 2, never answer a call from an unknown caller. If it's a legitimate caller, they'll leave a voicemail message and you can call them right back at your leisure. But phone scams are everywhere right now and totally out of control. They target retirees and seniors. They've become increasingly sophisticated. And with AI, they have the ability to replicate familiar voices. With social media, they're now able to pull together enough personal information about you and your family to persuasively work to convince you to send money or to engage in some kind of rescue of someone who's near and dear to you. Unfortunately, very often it's fraud completely. They may want you to save money or give them access to your bank account. Often it comes in the form of the scammer pretending to be a representative from your bank or financial institution. Upon getting you on the phone, they may relate to you that there's been fraudulent activity and that they need to confirm your account information. Don't fall for it. In giving them your account information, you're giving them access to your account, which can enable them to wipe you out financially. But if you don't answer your phone, like I said, if it's a serious and credible caller, they'll leave a voicemail message for you, and you can call them back at your leisure. Personally, if a caller represents themselves from being from my bank or one of my financial institutions, indicating there's some evidence of fraudulent activity, I don't talk to them. I hang up and I call my bank directly, or I call the credit card directly. I will never deal with or disclose information to someone who calls me unsolicited. It only takes a few minutes more. Nothing is ever going to be so urgent that I have to act immediately in the moment. If it takes an extra 3 minutes to get a hold of my bank, then that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Those are just some steps that you can take, but the bottom line is never trust that someone is who they say they are when they call you unsolicited and asking for personal information. The best policy is just to never answer a call from unknown callers. Strategy number 3, I call decide in advance. And what I mean is you can decide in advance with your spouse or significant other that you're not going to buy anything that's being sold door to door or over the phone without first consulting with your spouse or your significant other. And I would further suggest that you set a specific number of days to discuss that possible purchase. I'd recommend that you consult with each other for at least 1 week before taking any action. If a salesperson gets a hold of you at the door or somewhere else, let them know that you have an agreement in place to always consult with your spouse or significant other, and that it's going to be a week's waiting period no matter what. Now, they're always going to try to make it seem urgent, that you're going to miss out on $1,500 off on the $4,000 vacuum, then that's just how it has to be. Never let yourself be pressured or rushed into any purchase. It's just not worth it. The same arrangement should be used for telephone solicitations for purchases or investments or any financial transaction if they get a hold of you. There is never a time when you can afford to allow yourself to be pressured into a purchase. It doesn't matter what they say or if the deal's coming to a dramatic end. If you don't act now, never make a rushed decision. Never let yourself be pressured into a rushed decision. You've lived your whole life without this thing that they're selling. You don't have to act immediately, and you don't need it now. Rushed decisions are always bad decisions. And if someone's trying to pressure you or becoming rude, the best response is goodbye, have a nice day. All right, that gets us to simple strategy number 4, and that is to freeze your credit reports. This strategy gives you another layer of defense. Another simple strategy to give yourself another layer of defense is to freeze your credit reports. You can apply to each of the 3 major credit reporting agencies to have your report frozen for free. And I'm going to put links to the major credit reporting agencies in the description below. Then, if someone fraudulently applies for credit in your name, if a credit check is run, it'll be shut down at that stage. Now, there are some credit issuing agencies that dispense with running a credit check, so this is not a 100% protection, but it's a great start, and it's a great added layer of protection. Then if you're going to make a major purchase, buy a home or refinance, you can temporarily unfreeze your credit report. This strategy falls into the category of more protection is always better than less. That gets us to strategy number 5. I can't show you that side of my hand because of the 6. It's 5. Focus on 5. We all know that cash is king. And these days there's another trend that I'll call a scam. Have you noticed how it seems to be that everywhere you go, people who sell you things are looking for a tip? Now, when you go to Starbucks or Subway sandwiches or any of dozens of other locations that never before solicited financial tips, now they all do. And they've tucked it kind of discreetly into the electronic pay point at purchase, as if it's inconsequential for you to be expected to pay an additional 18 to 30% for your purchase. And what's incredible to me is that they have the guts to suggest a tip amount. When did this happen? When did everybody suddenly find it reasonable that everyone should be tipped for everything? And I absolutely refuse to be pulled in for this new scam. If I have to stand in line for food, nobody gets a tip. And so I avoid it most efficiently simply by paying cash. Their little tip sequence never gets played out when they're counting back my change, and I'm under no pressure to participate in their scam. I get my change, I get my stuff, and I'm on my way. And oh, by the way, no, I don't want to round up to fund your corporate charitable contributions to whatever. No, thank you. So what's Cliff Wagner's guide on cash policy? Let's talk about a cash policy in general. I recommend folks keep $1,000 cash at home in a safe, secure place, mostly in $20 bills or even smaller denominations, so that you have ready, easy access to cash when you need it without having to take a trek to the ATM every day. I also recommend that folks keep $100 cash in your purse or billfold. That's because if you find yourself in a jam, there are very few situations that $100 can't solve. If you need a taxi, Uber, bus ticket, maybe you need a lunch or to purchase something for someone else. $100 will solve a lot of situations. And again, when you're going out and about, keep $20 to $30 in cash, that is in addition to the $100, available for purchases so that you can avoid the tip scheme regime. You don't need to pay 18 to 30% more for your purchases so that they can have a tip. Call me cheap if you like, but I extend tips when I'm receiving service, not when I'm buying products and goods over the counter at a drive-through or standing in line. That's my policy, and it saves me money. And that gets us to strategy number 6. Now focus on the 6 this time. Strategy number 6, credit transactions only at points of purchase. Try to avoid using your ATM PIN wherever you can. Scammers are now set up with very sophisticated operations in front of big box stores with the technology to intercept ATM PIN card numbers when you make an ATM debit purchase. At these stores, it's often the case that data is being transmitted from the checkout stations to the back of the store using unencrypted Wi-Fi. Scammers have developed the ability to capture that data and reproduce a working clone of your ATM card and empty your bank account. So instead of using an ATM debit card to make a purchase at big box stores or gas stations, I use the credit purchase bypass using the same card with the same Visa logo. That way my PIN is protected and not compromised. This is a simple change to the transaction, but gives us a little more protection from scammers. I just don't feel the need to share my PIN for my ATM card with anyone. And that's it. Those are the 6 strategies that I recommend retirees and seniors consider using to avoid being scammed. And I hope that you found them useful. Now, if you have some other strategies that you use or that I've overlooked, please share them with us in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your strategies are. And as always, if you like the information in this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps us a lot. In the meantime, stay safe, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.